we talk about the alumni regatta and that sort of thing, Tom was talking about the team that you're sending down to San Diego to compete. So you just talk a little bit about that first.
Let me talk just a little bit about Cascade Sprints. We had the opportunity to have our first really big Division II race where all of the players in the West region were there, and our first race against Western Washington, rematch against UCSD, and the first time seeing Seattle Pacific, and we were exceptionally pleased. We were able to get back on top of UCSD in a heats and final scenario, and Western Washington was about 3 seconds in front of us. And I think last year we didn't see Western until so late into the season that whether or not you had the ability to find any speed changes really kind of put you in a very uncomfortable position. So I think that when we go down to San Diego this weekend, of course we'll rematch with UCSD, who had traveled to the Pacific Northwest and borrowed boats from Western. They'll be back in their home territory, they'll be in their home boats, sleeping in their own beds, and they cannot wait to see us this weekend to really to try to get back on top. So I think there's a lot that rides on San Diego. It's a regatta that we'd really like to take the whole team to, but we're sending the 8. The Division II-3 race will have University of Central Oklahoma, which is a cross-region rank. UCO has raced against all of the crews out of the South, and that gives us a really good marker for success or not. So if you look at last year when we raced at San Diego Crew Classic, we beat UCO, and it was that race on the first weekend of April of last year, which is what really decided our fate to go to nationals, because we didn't win the outright bid. So it can go one of two ways. If we do exceptionally well, it can help us. If we go down there and we falter, it could come back to haunt us in the form of if you don't receive the outright bid, that it will have your impact on whether you can go to nationals. So there's a lot that rides on this weekend, and those 8 ladies that are going. There will be 2 heats. There's 13 boats, and we think that probably when the rankings come out at the end of this week, there will be 4 boats. Top 4 boats, we believe, are 1 second between all 4 boats. 1 second in their total time to finish. So it should be a very exciting race. I think that the crew that goes out there and has the ability to perform under pressure without losing their composure when you have boats just really neck and neck will probably be the boat that comes out on top. One of the nice things that we saw that happened at Cascade Sprints this past weekend was we really found that the varsity program found a little bit more of their feet, so to speak. We had some first race in Sacramento fell a little flat. UCSD beat us pretty handily, and I think that I can't say that it was complacency, but they certainly had a better understanding of what we wanted out of our race plan, and I felt like they were pretty darn flawless in executing that race plan this weekend. And we have spent the last 2 seasons being the last crews off the start. We are the first crews off the line, which I think is very helpful. Obviously, Western is just a very strong crew. We were out in front of them for the first 30 strokes, and every 10 strokes they just took a seat. So over the course of 2,000 meters, they beat us by 3 seconds, and it's a fair amount of distance between first and second, but not impossible to catch through the course of the season.
So you said this week in San Diego, definitely a big regatta. You said that you've seen improvement from Sacramento up at the Cascade last week, but where do you want, obviously you want to do well this weekend, but where do you want your rowing team to be as we enter this next week?